are. Alright, guys, welcome to the Arcane Duels Monk Academy full review. I'm Koshade. We have the whole team here. What's going on,
What's up,
guys?
Shark?
Woo!
And Puddnhead.
Yo.
And, we have in the background just a Tuesdays with Puddnhead game. We see his face here as he... I don't know. What are you? Are you losing in this game? I don't know.
No, this is... it's Tuesdays with Puddnhead 38. People have probably seen it already.
Okay, yeah. It's your most recent release, because you have another one, I think, coming out tomorrow.
I'm going to try.
I heard you ran a book similar to the one I ran against you at Tim's.
Yeah, well, I've had that book around for a while, and it just never ceases to surprise me at just how legit it is.
Oh, dude, Jaktari is crazy strong. If you guys that are listening ever want to play a fun Jaktari, just run, like, double move, layer into the opponent's center, start casting Falcons and Wolves, and then get the Boomerang out. Just keep hammering them. It's very fun to do. But we're not talking about Jaktari today.
We're talking about Ye Old Monk from Ketsuro.
New Mage.
Ye old.
A new Mage.
Well, probably not Ye Old.
Yield.
Seems legit to me.
I gotta say, this art for her, I actually like her art. Like, she looks like a freaking badass here.
Yeah, I like that monk a lot.
You know?
Art-wise, flavor-wise, a lot of it's really cool. I kind of wish it was Arena.
So we're gonna
There's some Arena cards in here.
Oh, I know. Just the monk itself.
So I just want everyone to know before we start that, we're not really getting paid for this sort of thing. So the opinions here, they're gonna be what we think about them. So, I think we've all been playing Mage Wars for a while, so I hope we can give some sort of accurate, combos, things like that. We're gonna be talking about what you can do in both Academy and Arena. Probably more focusing on Arena because I think the three of us kind of gravitate towards Arena more. But still, has some cool Academy stuff.
Yeah, if you are not prepared for a long, boring, drawn-out look at every single card in this set, you have been warned. You should leave now.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about all the cards in depth. And, anyone that's joining us live, feel free to comment and ask questions or say what you think would work really well because it's just going to kind of be a chat here. Let's start with the stats.
Stats
card.
So yeah, this kind of like how we saw with the Elementalists, where they kind of mess with the spellbook points in a lot of ways. They're doing that again here by lowering the amount of spellbook points, but staying with the 7-channel, 1 starting mana. I don't want to say it's standard.
It's almost like we're trying to change a few things to change them, but I think it works out in this case. The monk's pretty legit in the Academy.
Yeah, and I really wish, or hope anyway, that we see some sort of Arena monk come out, or some sort of like, here's how fans are doing it, so let's just try it out until we get monks. It's the same way of Elementalists, but I digress.
So monk has key. Monk has key, and the monk gets key every upkeep phase, which is interesting because it's after channeling. So during the upkeep, you would have to have the key to reveal something that if it needed to be revealed before the upkeep. Just an interesting tidbit there. I don't think there are any spells that do that right now, but anyway, monk is trained in martial and monk spells. A lot of the stuff in here is martial. There's a few monks. Key is used to enhance martial spells for the most part. I don't think there's non-martial spells that get enhanced by key. And the 38 spellbook points and the 25 life are indicative of the playstyle of the monk. You're going in there fast and furious. You have hit points to soak up some damage, and you have fewer spellbook points because a lot of your spells are going to be in school and not very high level. You're going to use a lot of really basic stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good overview. Is this Mage's, as we see the cards, you're really going to see a lot of stuff that like focuses on this being like a solo Academy Mage, and there's all sorts of ways to sort of generate defensive and offensive options with that. I don't know. I don't know if there's much to really talk about with the stat card. It's besides this, it has a whole new resource in it, so that's pretty cool.
I
actually.
think right now there isn't a lot to talk about, but there will be when we come back.
Yeah.
I think we should cycle back at the end because of all of the key-specific stuff that'll come up as we go.
All right, let's go on to the next.
You got to remember that you start with 2 and that you gain 1 every upkeep.
Yeah.
Right.
All right,
Next.
Bow Staff. So this is a War 1 card. It takes up both the hand slots, but it does have reach for 3 dice for 5 mana, 4 of course in Arena, and has a defense. That you have to spend key in order to use, but it is an infinite 7-up, so that's actually pretty decent when you consider like reflex boots and stuff like that.
It's not terrible if you can find a way. So, from the Arena perspective, if you can find a way to keep the key on you, then yeah, it's good. If from the Academy perspective, you get 2 key a turn anyway, right? So, or is it
Yeah.
one? Just look at it.
You just get one. Yeah.
Still pretty good. There's other ways to gain key, and the defense is pretty legit in Academy for sure.
Yeah, and there's a ring that gives the monk an extra key, so you could theoretically get one defense off of each channel for key anyway. I don't know. It's an interesting weapon. I think it's really geared towards the monk. I don't know if I'd really use it in Arena, just because it takes up 2 hand slots.
Yeah, if you aren't generating key already, like passively, it's not going to be very helpful to you, really.
Yeah, effectively, if you're not a monk, I'm not sure I'd use it.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it is an in-school way to get reach, other than Mage Staff, right, for Warlords.
And Paladins too, right?
Yeah, they tend to rely on rocks and luminous blasts anyway.
I'm not saying they would, but it's technically possible.
It is a way to get reach for somewhat cheap.
I mean that's
you will roll 4 dice with it in Arena.
And that's an interesting point for Academy too. Is now that there's flying creatures in it, the Warlord and now the Monk might actually consider this just because it's a way to whack those dudes out of the sky.
The defense is infinite, which is interesting. As if you have enough key, you can dodge everything.
So yeah, it's limited by the key, not by the amount of times the dice or the defenses on the creature.
I guess I like that a lot because you can sort of choose what you want to defend, and if they try to trick you with being like, it's a fire stream, then a fireball, then it's like, all right, well at least I saved up for both defenses on that. Otherwise, that's pretty much what I got on this card.
Yeah.
Yep. Not a lot else to add.
It's not amazing, but it will have situations where it's useful.
All right, moving on. Dampening Cloak.
Yeah, I like the art on this, but that's probably the best thing about the card, in my opinion.
I actually like this card. Cloak slots generally have been Elemental Cloak, and that's what you use. I know the Warlord has the Commander's Cape. But, the Beastmaster, I guess, has something. But in general, I like this because it's 3 mana for a slot that, you kind of use a lot. But it helps against ranged attacks.
Yeah. This wasn't a promo, was it?
I don't think so.
Okay. It just floated around in the
it's been around a little bit.
Play testing for a while.
It's been talked about a lot, yeah.
Aegis 1. Aegis 1's pretty good. This does not stack with any other Aegis spells, of course.
Right. It's not Aegis +1. It's just Aegis 1.
Yeah.
But if what you're worried about is ranged attacks, Aegis is pretty good.
Yeah, which, in Academy, ranged attacks are crazy strong. It's very common to take, 3 fire streams and be like, I'm going to blow this thing up, and it pretty much wins me the game. This kind of helps your mage, I think, just deflect against that. In Arena, obviously, Force Master's going to really like this because she doesn't really have Cloak.
Yeah. Yeah, that and it's in school, so that works out.
Yeah.
Well, you could use Elemental Cloak to get some extra armor.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be... It's an interesting trade-off, right?
Elemental Cloak is 6 mana? 6 mana?
Yeah, 6 mana, but it gives you an armor and it reduces frost, fire, and lightning.
Yeah, I think the Elemental Cloak's just better, but
It is, but it's still, at least there's a choice between the two because of the mana cost. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. I agree with you on that.
everyone has their own preference, but at least there is a choice.
Definitely good if you're fighting against the Chektari Beastmaster, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to get some.
Yeah, you say that.
Well, I mean, it counteracts her plus
I'm
range
just
plus
messing
1.
with you.
So,
I mean, honestly, the 6 mana is pretty costly. For Elemental Cloak, like that's most of a channel is worth for a lot of mages. Whereas 3, it's sort of just like a passive Battleforge option, I think. It's like, I'm going to take leather or this cloak. Anyway.
yeah, definitely a Battleforge card.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd run it without a Battleforge. Moving on, Devoured
Agreed.
Robes. Not mage only.
Yeah, anybody can use this. 1 armor for 3 mana.
Yeah, which, is it's a little bit costly, I think, for just 1 armor. But, the ability to pay key to remove a condition, I think is...
yeah.
It's
really well set up for the monk and anybody who runs key.
Yeah, right? Like, it costs a quick spell, but to remove weaks or rots or something like that, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, the quick spell option is a little frustrating to me.
Yeah.
Given that you're planning to be a solo mage, you don't have a lot of quick spell options, right? You need to be getting extreme value from your quick spell because you want to be doing some serious damage with your other stuff. Now, with the advent of the attack spells in this game, in this set, it might be more worth it because you can use its ability as a quick spell in your main action, and then you can quick cast something.
Yeah, it's still good. It's really good with the monk. It's doable in arena.
Would you run it with Force Master in arena, or I guess Academy?
I think Force Armor is still really good.
Yeah, it doesn't beat Force Armor for me.
Yeah, so Force Armor is 1 more mana for the piercing -2 versus, and they both have 1 armor.
Right. I see. It really depends because in order to get rid of a slam, you need to spend 4. In order to get rid of a stun, you need to spend 4. In order to get rid of a daze, you'll need to spend 2. So you could theoretically activate after being surging waved, and then move, and then get that daze off of you, and then you could quick cast one of the attack spells to get your attack bonuses.
Technically speaking, that happens anyway.
I mean,
After you move, it goes away.
Well, no, because daze is there. You wouldn't be able to swing your Galvatar. But because I think Devoured Robes is worth it sometimes because of the melee attack spells.
I got you.
If there weren't melee attack spells, then it might not be worth it.
Well, when you move and use your quick action at that point to do whatever, the daze would go away.
That's true. So you'd really want a quick cast to get rid of the daze condition. You'd have to spend all 4 key to get rid of the slam.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly, you can spend the 4 key to get rid of the slam. At that point, then you can do your double strike with Galvatar, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to point out that generally in my arena games with key, I have had more key than I could possibly use by just using a card we'll get to later. But that could just be because, like it's a new set and people didn't know how to quite play against it yet. But generally I've had probably about 6 floating key in my arena games that I just can't really spend.
Yeah, I feel like you have that all the time.
So like in terms of the key, I'm not, I say this cautiously, too worried about that. It's that quick spell that gives me an issue.
Right.
Like a Force Master.
Is frustrating.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it's like a quick spell to get rid of the slam from the surging wave, so you can Galvatar. That's probably one of the good cases. Like obviously any of the poison conditions are so good because it's just part of your armor. And if they want to dissolve this, it's sort of like, okay, you dissolve this like random thing that doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah, Red Dice is saying to use Galvanize instead, and Galvanize is really good. The trick with Galvanize is you can only use it once.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless you do some weird... unless you build in extra amounts to do it, you can only use it once.
Yeah.
like Shift Enchantment or something.
And once might be all that you need, honestly, if you're playing hyper aggressive. But most people are going to run a couple different ways to incapacitate or slam or daze.
That's really a big issue for a lot of Force Masters. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. And it might be better to just run the melee attack spells and not worry about getting rid of the slams.
We'll get to those later. There's all sorts of fun new attack spells for us. But anyone else have any comments? Moving on?
Nope. Good to go.
All right. The Dragon's Lance. So it's a fire spell. So it's in school for the Warlocks, and it's a weapon that's either shield or weapon. Should say the reverse. But let me get your thoughts, starting with Shark. Or do you want to be the final thought on this one?
Cool either way. Honestly, it's a good choice, I guess, but on my list of things that I would run it in, it's super low on the choice list.
Do you ever take the what is that Morning Star? What is that called?
The Hellstar.
The Hellstar. Do you ever run that?
Nope. I have no reason to ever run the Hellstar.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I also don't. There are certain situations where it is good. I just don't play those very often. This looks to me to be almost the exact same in terms of my ranking of it, because of the fact that I don't run too many times where it would be better than just the Lash.
Yeah.
Even the 3-mana gap in this case, just the Lash has been better for everything I do. Yeah, of course, it's a fire attack, so if someone's wearing Flame minus armor, there's an Earth Wall in front of me, yeah, maybe I'll use the other one.
Mm-hmm.
But usually I build ways around that formation. And at 5 mana, it's also competing with a lot of other good weapons. So while cool and an option that can be built around and can be used, it is not my highest.
That's good. That's good. I'm kind of disappointed that it's not a fire attack. Just because
yeah, exactly.
You know, I want more things that can be buffed with like the Fire Shaper ring and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
And if it was a flame attack, I would agree. I would say it's actually really good.
Like, I would love to see like a wizard with a Fire Shaper ring and this guy that has a fire attack, just to be able to be like, look, it's not optimal because I'm not a warlock, but it's something. You know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be fun. But
wizard has enough choices.
Well, I'm just using wizard as an example, man. But you know, there's tons of other mages. Like any of the war mages would be cool with that too. I mean, comparatively to Hellstar, I think this is just a better weapon. It has a better burn chance by 1, costs the exact same, isn't warlock only, and it has a cool like key effect too.
Does Hellstar cost 5?
Hellstar costs 5.
I thought that cost less. Okay, it's inherently in every way better then, isn't it?
Yep, and the burn the burn chance is 8 up. It's warlock only. You know,
burn chance is better here.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. You can even put it in the other hand.
Hellstar's no longer. Yeah, and I mean I like the art on this thing too, but
I actually really like the art. Looks cool.
Yeah, it's a cool weapon, but it occupies the same slot as the Hellstar for me. Just one burn better.
What do you think of this spell, Puddin?
It's good for burn stacking.
Yeah.
If you have key, that's about it, as far as I can tell. It fills the same niche, like Red Dice is saying here, as Vorpal Blade. Honestly, Vorpal Blade gets through armor, burns get through armor, and you don't have to spend key on Vorpal Blade. The trick with this one is it actually works if there's resilient way better than Vorpal Blade does.
Interesting, yeah.
So with enough key, you can keep burn stacking on some zombies or somebody who gets to 6+ armor on their mage. Now you could do that with Critical Strike and Vorpal Blade against the mage with 6 armor, but it's nice to have options for flavor reasons, but I don't think this card fulfills any role that needs to be fulfilled, even a niche one.
Yeah. Well, Before I move on, I just want to point out that it's a martial. So for anyone that's wondering, like, is the monk actually trained in this? It is just because the subtype is martial.
True.
Yep.
Moving on. We got a bunch of cards to go through, so... Gladius! So this is, like, just a basic weapon that's... anyone is trained in it. It costs 2 mana, and it basically gives you an extra die. In Academy, it gives you 3. In Arena, it gives you 4. Of course, it's War, Novice, because that's how it always happens. I mean, I think for the mana cost... You know, two mana for 1 extra die is nice. You know, if you at least get 2 attacks out of it, it's great. I don't know if you're gonna ever want to dissolve this too.
Right, and I think that's kind of the cool part about it. It's kind of like, in a lot of cases, it's similar to Kajara, which is so cheap, and there's so many more dangerous options that I won't say never, but you'll rarely see it dissolved.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty good little card because I'm thinking Straightwood Beastmaster for 2 mana. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Die. Why not?
Go up to 5 dice. That's
yeah.
not bad.
Or anybody with the melee plus. But
yeah, exactly.
Those came to mind.
Yeah, you know, Arena Druid can use this too.
Yeah, there you go.
Honestly, if
Another
you're,
thing for Druid.
I think
Oh no!
I think the interesting thing about this card, I like this. This set is like Mage War's math set, right?
Yeah.
Because
oh yeah.
it's all like all these really basic cards that do really basic things, and you can tell exactly how much mana that stuff costs, right?
Yep.
I feel like that's a lot of the equipment. Like, we're gonna get into the complex stuff soon, but like all the equipment, yeah, you're right, feels basic.
I mean, it's okay. It's worth it in certain books. It's not in others. It's not going to be one of those things that.
But I think you'll see this in books that are running very tight mana economies, right?
Yeah.
And you know, if you just want a +1 die for some reason on your melee attack, and you don't want to spend time on Champions Gauntlets, or you don't want to spend time on, you don't want to spend the mana for Bear Strength, or if you want to supplement a Bear Strength without going like crazy and adding Wolf Fury and adding all these other things to it, you know, you just get a little boost there that's not going to die to a purge. It's unlikely to be dissolved. It's just getting the melee +1 trait on your warlord.
You're buying a minor ability basically with this and taking up a slot.
Yeah. You're also making it so that if you want to use Sweeping Strike or Whirling Strike on yourself, you get an extra die all the time.
Yeah, that's true too, because it's not melee one. Yeah,
it's not melee +1. It's just another die for pretty cheap, and it's gonna fit best in economy books for sure.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if there's some sort of like Philella play where you could like reveal a bunch of melee plus stuff and combo this with some of those attack spells we'll see later or something, just because like, and do it a turn earlier just because of the cost difference between this and, you know, like a 5 mana spell like Vorpal Blade. Because one of the big issues I think Philella plays have is, you know, you don't really have a lot of mana early game, so you kind of have to just hope that your enchantments work. I think we all can figure out, you know, the rest of this. So let's move on. Golden Shield.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one.
Oh man, this card here.
This one opens itself up to a lot of Battleforge shenanigans.
Yeah, it's Battleforge abuse, but otherwise it's, I don't know, it's another one that's cool. It feels very Academy to me.
I actually really, I really like this card a lot. I mean, I'm going to go right to Arena here, and that is, you can replace it. So theoretically, if you run 2 in a Battleforge, you could get 2 basic defenses that do work for 5 mana, and then replace it with another Golden Shield and say, or just something else, and then just say, I can get those back. And I want to point out that it doesn't actually take damage unless you dodge or use the defense successfully, which I think is pretty cool. So, like, I could see this popping out basically, like, as a mid to late game card where, like, it's like, oh, man, we're both at 20, 8 life. He's going to fireball me. I better bring this out so I could just dodge as many of these, non-unavoidable attacks as I can.
And in a lot of cases, you can force them into using their unavoidable attacks early, too.
Yeah. I think
the fact that this works on spells is really important to note.
Yep. Yeah.
So that rock you're expecting, hey, look, I mean, it doesn't work every time, but you still got a chance.
Oh man,
pretty good one, too.
if you dodge an attack spell, the value is so good.
Yeah,
with
it's
this.
already gone through the roof.
Let me ask you a question. So, how many of you guys run Warlords without, or the Anvil Throne specifically, without any defenses on your equipment?
I rarely have a defense that comes out because they're
Same.
all so expensive.
No,
So-
I take that back. I run that spike shield all the time.
That's a good point then. So would you consider running this just so you can put that rune on it?
I mean, it's what, 6 mana for
I would.
3 dodges?
Yep. And you get, what, a +2, I think?
Yeah, so it's
you-
5 plus
three-
dodges,
three,
but
5 plus dodges, and you
if
get to
I'm-
choose when you use them though.
still, if I'm thinking about ruining the thing,
Yeah.
I'm looking elsewhere myself. But
Okay. Yeah, because obviously the buckler is where you're at.
yeah, like I want to. If I'm gonna ruin something, I want to stick around.
Yeah, like, I know Reflex Boots is really popular with the Anvil Throne or the Spiked Buckler, but I just find that the mana is so tough to justify, especially to rune it.
Yeah,
Well,
that's-
I think this opens up, this and the Gladius actually open up more of an option for the Anvil Throne Warlord to actually run creatures and get enough equipment on that his rooms are useful.
that's an interesting point.
It's like a sort of mid-game timing instead of a late game for the
Actually,
Anvil.
then you can also
Yeah.
ruin the Gladius while we're talking about it.
Yeah,
You
to give it
could,
piercing.
theoretically.
Piercing, and it's still a really cheap, almost horrible blade.
You could ruin the Devoured Robes too if you wanted to.
Touche. Good point.
I mean, you
Yeah,
can, but
like
I
you
don't,
said, it
I don't think you
opens
can
up
get
options for
anything,
runes.
right?
Huh?
I mean, you can. I don't know if you get anything in the robes, right? I guess you can get the cantrip.
You get plus armor.
Can you do that?
Yeah, it gives you armor.
Both the robes give you armor.
I thought you needed armor to get armor. I
Yeah,
don't know. I
robes
could
give you
be-
armor 1, and then you can.
Oh,
ruin it
duh.
separately.
I was thinking of Dampening Cloak.
It's all good,
So I mean, yeah, I think there might be like some work to do to see if these cards can like fit into a faster timing Warlord. Like, I don't know about you, but like whenever I see Vorpal Blade with the Precision Rune, I'm just like, that's just a really, really sharp blade now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just kind of a.
I
It's
tend to
interesting
agree
me.
because you can also then, if you need more piercing, put on critical strike.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It's just
Right.
I kind of laugh every time I see it.
It's just there's
like really
there's more
interesting.
options now, and it's interesting that it's none of these are really flashy, but they're all giving you more options.
They're not
Except
flashy.
for-
Yeah, and that doesn't mean they're
Except for
bad.
most staff, that doesn't really help much.
You know what's interesting about the things in this set is that you could now theoretically run a book with 0 enchantments in it and get all the benefits
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
of having enchantments.
It also lets you run like a double battle forge and get those harder to get things for cheaper, even though they're more temporary. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Should we skip along to the next
Yeah.
and final piece of equipment?
The Ring of
Yes.
Key. It's
this is
basically
unfortunately monk only.
Yeah.
So
I don't know that I would even run this. Well, I wouldn't say I won't run it in Academy, but I didn't play with it very much.
well, I would say if you're planning on dodging a lot with the bow staff,
Yeah.
you
Oh, yeah.
want
That's
Ring
true.
of Key.
There are definitely combos with it.
If you're planning on facing somebody who has a lot of conditions that are going to mess you up, I'd run the Ring of Key. I think it's just something to have.
Yeah, I'd probably keep it as a just in case kind of thing later on.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I think 1 mana is equal to like 1 key, and I think this helps generate an extra channel, basically, which I think can give you some value to it. And the fact that it doesn't take any actions to do it is nice. I think it really I think it's a staple in Academy, to be honest.
You are going to want to empower a lot of things,
Yeah, it could totally be that too. I'm
but
not,
you
I
do
guess,
only
I just-
you only channel 7, so you're going to have 6 mana to work with each turn.
Yeah.
It's not a lot.
I'm curious actually, like, we haven't really seen a lot of the key cards yet, so it's hard to really talk about this, but like, do you think the monk only is needed here?
I think
maybe.
For flavor reasons, yes.
Is that
Monk
purely
only
why?
is needed here.
So it's not like an imbalance issue. It's just a monk thing.
Well,
That's it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't actually know how bad some of the key users are in Arena yet. I mean, we've seen it work out really well for a couple of things, and if you could just always empower them, that would be a little ridiculous, in my opinion. The fact that you have to make a choice as to what to empower and how to use your key is significant to me.
Okay.
As a monk, I would not want to have to make the choice. I just want to be able to channel key into everything. And I think that should be reserved for the monk, personally.
Okay.
I tend to agree.
All right. I think we can move on from this.
Yep.
It's interesting this.
You're seeing every piece of equipment in the set. Hooray!
Hooray! Now we can just, skip the next one.
All right. So we have hired bodyguard.
This is what I'm talking about skipping.
So I mean, this is basically like there's enchantments that sort of mask this, except now it's a creature. It seems like just a pay 2 mana. You get a body that's probably gonna die, and he might take a hit for you, and he'll take a hit for you. I doubt you'll ever get the counter strike. I guess in Academy there's a lot of 2 dice creatures, so you might actually get one.
I'm honestly not sure where I would put this in any either Arena or Academy book.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a soldier.
The one spell point for this means, nah, man, I wouldn't pay half for that.
I mean, you can combo him with the all sorts of commands and formations and stuff like that.
You can also do that with people who live.
Yeah, I mean, if
this guy hits the field and dies from falling on the field.
He literally comes out going, "Just hit me." I mean, he's novice. He's novice, so you can take him, I guess, like in anything. It's like
but he's not worth. I don't know.
I mean,
he was a 0 point.
I mean, let's
0 school. I'd take it.
I mean, let's talk about it. There's miss, right, and that costs 2 mana to bring out, and you have to or what's it called? Is it called miss? I don't know. It basically makes you miss. I forget the actual name of it. Or fumble or something like that makes you lose an attack. This guy is basically you're trading your full action, which is worth about 2 mana, which would be a reveal of one of those cards, to basically say I'm casting something similar for 1 spellbook point and 2 mana. It's I don't know if it's necessarily really bad, but the fact you can get it off a spawn point too is nice. And
I'm not trying to say it's really bad. I'm just saying it's not even what I would consider okay. He's bland. He's Academy in every way.
I like the quote.
He's a weaker version of He's a weaker version of various other things, and in this case, he's so weak. I don't know that I would play him. That's all.
I just love that you get what you pay for. This guy, you're probably gonna get him out. You're gonna be like, oh, he died. All right.
Might want to check the stream. Sounds like people aren't hearing everybody.
Let's see. It should be okay, but let me know if it's
okay to me.
Let me know if it keeps breaking up.
It sounds alright to me from what I'm hearing.
So
I just turn the volume up.
I just want to do an experiment here. Ethereum Life Tree with Armory. Still bad.
If you already have them out and are trying to work that strategy, I'm not gonna say no. You should cast this guy, but I'm trying to figure out how he's better than a goblin.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Goblin Legionnaire is just going to be superior, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you get a guard marker on this guy, but you could run a temple, or not a temple, the altar, to just get the same thing.
There's probably a niche case somewhere where this guy comes out ahead.
I'll tell you what it is. Ready?
Sure.
I was thinking. Oh, yeah,
it is.
Let's hear it.
It lets other people feed the Crawlathor.
That or sacrificial altar.
No, dude, I'm rising again on this guy. He's gonna be my guard. Oh my god, it's so ridiculous. If anybody else is having audio problems, let me know, because I'm not seeing anything in my end, but it might just be your computer. Anyway, I'm moving on.
0 connection issues in the stream.
This is probably my favorite creature out of this whole set.
Here we go. Yeah.
Aboko, Sohi Master.
Oh yeah, he's pretty good.
He's cool.
Yeah, so basically, this is how I think most mages that want to get the key, want to use these cards, are going to get it. And, I mean, he's a little expensive, but I want to point out that Paladin is trained in holy creatures, so it only costs him 3 to run this. And I think Force Smash is trained in holy creatures, or not holy, Force creatures? Or no, what is she trained in again? I forget.
I thought it was any non-mind creatures.
Is it just non-mind? So it's going to cost her 4. Yeah.
As a mind creature, it's going to just cost 3.
Yeah. So this guy's awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's worth for those two to do it. I'm still haven't tested quite enough with other mages, but I mean, gaining 2 key, that's like getting channel 2. Or channel 4 if you want to, make it an equivalent to the ring. But, I mean, you get a really nice unavoidable attack. You get a 7-up infinite defense that works against ranged and melee. Granted, his life and his armor, not good. That's really not a strong point. But,
that defense tends to just get you 1 extra attack from him.
Yeah.
But that's still pretty good. I like this guy.
I don't know why, but a lot of my games, he tends to just, if they're not using a Surging Wave on him, he just lives through everything. And he just does a ton of damage.
That's because he's the master.
He is the master, man.
Unavoidable is actually pretty fun. He's a good little snake killer.
Yeah, he definitely kills the snakes.
Yeah, and definitely Academy, that's a big problem, especially against the monk, where getting a weak could really mess you up because you have such few actions.
Yeah, he can kill Taraki for you too.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
I hate those little guys.
and he's not a minor creature. Right. So basically, the games that I've seen him get used in was mainly in Paladin, and what I saw was basically turn 1 or 2 you summon this guy, and by the time you engage, you usually have a good amount of key if you want to use it, but if you don't, you just get stacks and stacks of key that that could be because I or whoever was playing didn't know exactly how to utilize key fully, but it just seems like this guy just lets you, use all these monk spells really well.
Yeah. Didn't someone try using this guy in a Force Master over at Zots?
I don't think anybody tried Force Master yet.
I knew we talked about it. I just can't remember.
I don't know about its odds. Yeah.
Yeah, I have some surprises for when this thing hits Octagon.
Yeah, and so obviously, we're going to get to those spells later, but some of the melee attack spells that we spoiled, you can use that with, your Thought Spores and things like that. Oh, wow. It's so unobvious. So not obvious. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a good card, I think. If you want to go into the monk set and go into this key sort of I almost want to say it's a subclass of what you're playing in Arena.
Yeah, you have the master there giving you tutelage in how to build key.
Right.
And when he goes away, you forget it all.
Forget everything.
All right, moving on. Haruku the Shadow Assassin.
Oh, dear.
So, I'm going to let Puddin explain this one because he's the one that first read the official rulebook. So I'm going to let him talk about this.
All right, fine.
Unless you want me, I can do it, man.
No,
if you want.
I'm good.
Do we have No, we don't have a copy of it.
This is
no.
What it looks like is a way to simulate invisibility in Academy, right? Even though invisible already exists in Academy with the Force Gremlin, cannot be targeted while active. While attacking an inactive creature, backstab gains piercing +2. Okay, so she can hit harder when something has already moved and is not ready for her. The problem is, the actual Academy rulebook says that creatures can still attack her, which goes completely against not being targeted, because in order to attack, you have to target. So this is a case where the rules clarification makes this card actually terrible.
And more confusing.
And way more,
Yes.
way more confusing than it needs to be. The fact is she's already 9 mana, she's already legendary, she's already gotten less armor than a Timberwolf. there's pretty much no and she's dual school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's pretty much no reason that this should not be just can't be targeted while active. I have no idea why the rulebook says creatures can still attack her.
Yeah, and I want to point out that the rulebook in Academy goes for Arena too. So even if you use her in Arena, it's the same situation there.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, it as read right now without the rulebook interpretation, it's a cool card. With the rulebook interpretation, I don't see anybody touching this card.
Yeah, the rulebook wrecks it.
Yeah.
I actually really love this card exactly as it is right now, but I don't think I'll never spend the 3 solo points, to get her.
Yeah.
I like the Piercing 2 trait too. That's cool. That's like a weird, like almost Isambila thing, but has a cool like I'm in the shadows hiding. I mean the fact that you can't enchant her until after she activates. She can't get cursed, of course, too. But that's nice. But it also is like it makes her just less usable in a lot of ways. So you have to summon her beforehand, let her get used, and then enchant her to buff her. But then she might just die because she just doesn't have the backup for it.
This reminder, why not? My question is, why not just run Harshforged Knight?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Right, Harshforged Knight costs 7, has 8 health and 1 armor, which is roughly similar to 0 armor and 10 health, and hits for 4 dice.
Yeah.
Like, why not just run Harshforged Knights instead of this legendary assassin that is not very legendary?
What is going on in the background here? I'm switching. I'm changing this up, guys.
What are you doing?
Give me 1 second here.
What is happening?
Puddnhead's game ended, so I have to switch it.
Yeah.
We're doing it versus.
Turning on Blender.
I did. It was actually someone giving a tutorial because I was watching some stuff on it. But
Oh, that's awesome.
mm-hmm.
I like Blender.
Blender rocks, man. Anyway.
Yeah, it's unfortunate what they did or what
Yeah.
the rules did. Excuse me. I don't mean to like bash anybody for doing this. I think it was an oversight, and I think it turned the wrong way this time. Lesson learned, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
Moving on.
So I hope to someday try it the way the card is written rather than the way the rules are written, and see if it makes it a really super powered card or something. But I don't.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to see that it's playable at that point.
Yeah.
Yep. The next guy's So High Pupil.
So High Pupil. I'll take this one, I guess. So it's dual class, which I really like that you can be holy or mind and do that. So it really helps out the Force Master, which unavoidable attacks in Force Master have generally been really expensive and hard to do as a creature. And the fact that you can get a nice 2-die unavoidable is pretty cool. For Arena, it's okay.
It occupies the same slot as Meditating Monk without basically you're trading the unavoidable for the mana with the 2.
I mean, it's 4 mana, so if it takes a hit, I think that's pretty nice. But really, like, even for Holy coming out of a temple, I mean, it's 4 mana for 2 dice.
Unless someone floods you with snakes. If someone floods you with snakes, this guy's suddenly your best friend.
Yeah, like...
he's going to die so fast, though.
I mean, he'll take a hit from the snake, and he'll punch the snake right back, unavoidable.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And then they're all going to whoop down on snakes.
Yeah, so, like, if you run against, like, someone that runs like a Swarm Beastmaster, and you're, like, playing a Temple Holy Mage, I could see starting to bring these guys out to sort of fight those asses.
I probably wouldn't do it myself, but I could see someone trying it.
I would rather have 3 Disciples of Radiance.
Yeah, I mean, the clerics are just better, like... You get 1 armor, 6 life, and 2 dice.
They can pump the temple. They can zot the snakes. They can.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I tried.
We gotta try to make them work. I mean, you gotta try to make them work, but.
Yeah. No, you're right. There's probably not a lot in Arena. He's pretty good in Academy though.
Yeah, because the Force Master does not have a spawn point. I think these guys are worthless for her.
Yeah.
It's not worth a full action to cast them.
I guess the only thing to point out is if you had the Paladin and needed that extra mana in order to use your banner to get a big dude out, and we're like, I have to summon 2, maybe I'll get this guy. Like, I'm not saying it's a good choice, but like, it's an option for something that's cheap that lets you get another thing out that may be expensive out of the banner.
What, are there any other holy creatures that cost 4? Meditating Monk costs 4.
Yeah, I think Temple Guard costs 4. I want to say.
That's 5.
Is it 5? I don't
think
remember.
the Temple Guard costs 5.
Okay, well, then this guy is perfect.
If he had some armor, he would cost 5.
Anyway, moving on.
Yep.
That's all the creatures.
So Chakra of Protection. So we're going to start getting into the really funky, cool monk cards that I think can really benefit Arena a lot. I'll let one of you guys take this because it's a cool card. I really like this card a lot, actually.
I think the interesting ones are definitely the enchantments.
Yeah.
And this is another one of those while you control the fewest creatures things. So it gives you pseudo Aegis, but it's better than Aegis because it's stacks.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it is kind of interesting actually because you can then. What was the mage you were talking about? Adzat's.
Siren.
Yeah, there you go. Siren.
She got Shallow Sea, Divine Protection, or Dampening Cloak, and Chakra of Protections.
Yeah.
I mean, you want Divine Protection is better, obviously, but Chakra of Protection, it only works on melee attacks, which is an important point to make. But melee attacks are usually the ones that roll the most dice anyway. So
you can also put on the Dampening Cloak with that whole setup that we talked about earlier, though.
But if you have Divine Protection on already, you have Aegis set against everything.
Dang it. Yep, I tried.
So, I mean, that's really nice if you... So, basically, if you're in a Shallow Sea, that's -2 if you control the fewest creatures to your melee attacks. Yeah, and this costs 4 mana.
It's -3.
Yeah, if you have Aegis,
Divine Protection, too, as well.
So,
yeah.
Timberwolves are only hitting as hard as snakes.
Yep.
I want to point out that, of course, the Force Master, both Academy and Arena, really good with this.
Also really good, yeah.
You know, when she runs out of steam with her Dissipate creatures, she's suddenly like, and now I'm resistant to everything. Haha, you know?
And in a lot of ways, the way I play Paladin actually will be good with this, too. Just fewest creature. I don't run
Paladin?
creatures usually.
Honestly, like, most mages, they have a playstyle that can use this card.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way to put it.
And this is really just like a slam dunk card in terms of power, and I like it a lot. I like the art too. I think it's nice.
Yeah.
You've also got this whole theme with this set of really buffing the solo mage a lot.
Yes.
Right. I mean, the monk is a solo mage for Academy, but the spells that are available to the monk are also going to really enhance the solo mage archetype in Arena, which has really been lacking, honestly, in the last couple of months.
Yep. So I'm happy with the way this one turned out. It's pretty good.
It should also be noted for all of these fewest creatures things that if you each are just down to a mage, they don't work anymore.
That's a good point.
It is a way
actually have to have the fewest.
So ideally, if you're a solo mage, you get down to one creature and you're like, well, I'm weaker, but I should be strong enough just to destroy you because you're not a solo mage.
Yeah.
Ideally. Yeah, moving on.
Cassiel can cast this for you too.
There you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, on the next one though, it's monk only, so it's only going to be used in Academy for the moment.
Yep.
It's another one of those while you control fewest creatures and only your mage can cast this. Once per round, you can when you cast or reveal a martial spell, you reduce the cost by 1. So that's a little benefit from that. It's a nice little. It's not a ring reducer; it's an enchantment reducer, which is different.
Yeah.
The target is self, which is an interesting target line.
It's same as what is it? Force field is targets Force Master. There's some other thing that targets self.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's not very common, so I was pointing out. And then Yeah, you only the discount they revealed, but it's a discount enchantment instead of a discount ring, which I thought was kind of
Yeah. So what I like about this spell is, it's a solo mage kind of thing. So this allows you to get 2 actions in one. The first, of course, being that, hey, I'm going to roll more dice against you. And it's not melee one. It's I roll an additional die. So sweeping strikes, all that stuff rolls extra dice.
Right.
And I really like that because it's like this solo mage is now becoming super strong with just a few actions. And I think that lets you sort of get out a creature, get out equipment faster, things like that, while buffing yourself. It does make yourself a better dispel target. And I think most of the spells we've seen have been martial, I want to say.
a large amount of them have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
That
this
includes
is monk
creatures.
only, which means that we won't be seeing people get lots of attack dice in arena.
Yep.
But it is cool to have the discount on martial things. And this is all martial things. So
All things martial.
yeah.
Mhm.
So your equipment, your martial creatures, your martial attack spells, martial enchantments, like all that stuff can get reduced with this.
Yep.
So putting this on as your first action is never a bad idea.
So let's talk about the big question here. If this wasn't monk only, would it be too strong in arena and academy?
For the cost, possibly.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly efficient. Like, you have to use martial spells, but,
It is restricted to martial spells, but I mean, you can have a wand that has a martial spell on it, right? So that's not really.
Which, in and of itself, is a bit weird.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
I
yes.
know.
We'll talk about that later, because the visual is hilarious, but...
The troubling thing for me is that there are so many enchantments, and there are so few slots in most people's books that are used for enchantment destruction that I think it would be too strong if
Okay.
it were an arena, just because there are so many enchantments.
Yeah, and definitely right now, on Octagon at least, the sort of meta we're seeing is definitely a high enchantment game, and people not dealing with those. Definitely in our tournaments, like ADMW 2, 2.2, like a lot of high enchantment builds just sort of win, and this would definitely add on top of that. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Here's the card you were talking about earlier.
Miss! This is, of course, what I was thinking of. So, I mean, the guard that we're talking about, you spend a full action, 2 mana, you get a guard. This is really similar. It's 2 mana for
it's interesting,
enchantment.
and the difference with this one, Miss doesn't target, you're not defending one of your own creatures, you are screwing with one of the enemy's creatures.
Yeah, right. It has to be minor. So basically, you're spending 2 mana. Oh, it's a fortune card. That's cool. You spend 2 mana and you make their attack fail. I mean,
Which is interesting, too.
Yeah. It only works on minor creatures. That's important.
yes. So, like, obviously, Izambila, that's probably one of the strongest targets for this guy. Tegus, wolves, things like that. Super good with this. I don't know if there's much really to talk about with this.
Nope.
Assassins.
Assassins. It would work.
Yeah.
I like
No,
that.
it's- I think it's a solid
Oh
card.
wait, doesn't work on Thought Spores
I-
because they declare spell attacks.
Got him.
I got him. I really love this art because it's totally not the guy missing. It's the guy being like, "Oh my god, you're flipping me
Yoink.
over!" Like,
Yeah.
This art is like
It is kinda
perfect.
Yeah, I think it's a solid card.
Yeah, I mean it's novice.
flashy.
You know,
Those
like
goblins are all
for
flashy to me.
Beastmasters are gonna get pretty messed up by this, and some War Mage schools, or some War Mages
It's a
can
way
too.
to regain tempo effectively. If you have a way to make
Yeah.
sure you can eliminate whatever's missing this turn,
Yeah,
then I think it's a way to gain tempo back.
and again, it's just cheap mana. It doesn't cost really anything, like 2 mana, I
Yeah.
guess. And if you have
Yeah.
Enchantress Ring, which so many people run, it costs 1.
Nope, that would be putting it on your own creature.
Oh, you're right. Oh.
Yeah, that's why I put it on the enemy. Like, yeah, it's interesting in the right in certain circumstances. It's really good.
I don't
I mean,
run
it's
I don't
also-
run Enchantress Rings, so you gotta excuse me for my awful information.
Well, it's also a way. It's also a cheap way that anybody can use to just purge or to probe for a nullify or an arcane ward,
That's true too.
and not really care if it doesn't work, right? Or get a better value out of it. You've gotten information, and now you're getting value.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, nullifies on minor creatures is weird, but anyway.
Well, if it's a hyper enchanted pet Timberwolf or something like that,
that's true.
then
No, you're right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So we're at the next card, which is Reprisal.
Yeah,
a
it's
similar,
the same categories ones we were just
very
talking about.
similar, just kind of the opposite effect. 2 mana,
Yeah.
0 to reveal.
Yeah, these cards are all promos that are being printed.
Yeah,
Yep.
I really like this card a lot. So there is a card called Retaliate right now, which costs 2/2, but this is a novice version of it. So kind of it opens up to more people. I don't know why it's necessarily corporeal. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's so good in Beastmasters, War Schools, Holy Schools. Just being able to give your dudes that have higher dice that are lower level creatures a Counter-Strike trait is solid.
I really like it on Tegus. I'm going to mention Tegus again because they have 3 armor. They can take a hit and then give it right back.
Yes, Tegu. I mean, Izambila, Timberwolf.
Yeah, it's good on a lot of creatures.
Let's name the same
Tegus
minor
is
creatures
fine.
over and over.
Yeah, well, this is the commonly used ones, but there's probably more out there
You're
even
right.
that are also quite good.
I know Silverclaw of Ratel has been getting a lot of traction just because of that double strike, and you get the double strike with the Counter Strike trait, so that's also another thing to point out with this. So
You could use this with.
like you literally take damage, you're like, all right, counters with 2 attacks.
It's important to note you can use this with zombies and skeletons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's cool too. Oh my god, zombies, those minor, not minor, lesser, no, zombie minions.
Zombie minion,
Yes.
or what is it? Tainted zombie too.
Tainted
Yeah,
zombies.
Venomous
It's a good
zombie.
choice.
Yeah, venomous zombie. That's right.
So I mean, it's novice, and I could definitely see it getting used. And you
Yeah, it's
compare
got its uses for sure.
you compare it to like an attack spell, which is basically what this is, in a weird, roundabout way, kind of like how Retaliate is. It costs 2 mana. It costs 2 mana. If you can get 3 or 4 dice out of it, you benefit.
Yeah, you are hoping to live through the first strike in order to use it, though.
Yeah.
So there are limitations.
That's true.
Moving
Cool.
on. Sanctuary.
This one's weird just from it's teleported outside the arena part, but
Yeah, so you're teleported out of the arena, and you're just like completely safe.
was there a ruling on this and Anchor?
It doesn't work
it wouldn't
because
work.
it can't be teleported.
It wouldn't
What
work.
if
Yeah.
Anchor's revealed after they're already teleported out?
Oh no! If you reveal it, you have no chance to respond, so you're just gone.
Right, so they can't come back, is my point.
Does he teleport back?
It says return the creature to play.
I think I think good thinking.
Does that
but
mean it's teleported out but not teleported
I'm
in?
pretty sure he doesn't teleport back. He just like he fades back into existence.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's,
Okay, whatever.
it's
it doesn't matter.
balanced.
Sure.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can cast this on any friendly creature, which is I'm
Yeah.
glad it says friendly. Obviously not non-mage. It's non-mage, but so like if you send in, I know for my holy class, I send in Brogan to kill that Deathlock, and he's about to die because a bunch of zombies or something about to kill him. It'd be like, I'm gonna reveal Sanctuary, and they're like, oh, we gotta wait a turn. No, and it's like, haha. That's
Yeah.
kind of my thinking immediately with this card.
But why?
I was thinking you could do it with a Bridge Troll.
But
'cause,
why?
they get an extra turn to come back and regen 3.
Yeah, that's true. You do get all the cards on you, all that stuff do have an extra round of activating. I like that a lot, actually. I mean, the answer to why would just be, can you distract them another round? But
I mean, you could see this used on Aaron to get that last regeneration tick.
oh, instead of them focusing in, that's cool.
Yeah, there's lots of interesting little ways to use it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I think like I'm really curious to see if this gets used in tournaments, just to see how people utilize this, because it's sort of like it allows you to do risky plays or takes away someone else's ability to do risky plays.
Yeah, it's versatile, I believe is what we're looking for there. Which is pretty cool, because Academy cards generally tend to be simplified versions of Arena cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm a fan. Yeah, it's cool.
And Cassiel can cast it. It's kind of cool.
Cassiel can cast everything.
Right?
No, that's not bad. That's good. I think familiars being able to cast more things is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Any last words on this?
I already cast basically everything in Siren Book anyway.
Any last words?
No, we can move on.
Nope, it's cool. That's all I got.
Fortified Resolve.
Monk only. Cry.
Yeah.
I cry anytime I see Monk only and things right now.
So, I mean, it's basically a reduction of damage card. And I think it works really well for solo mages because it's like, I took hits, but now I'm like ready for the next one. You know, it's a cool spell.
Anybody else find it a little ironic that it's Monk only, but the art?
Clearly a
All right.
Siren and Paladin.
The thing that we need to understand here is that art assets need to be used.
I'm not debating that. I just think it's funny.
It's hilarious.
It is funny. We have more of that coming later.
Oh, yes. I mean, so in Academy, obviously, like, you're taking tons of little hits all the time. Lots of guys are rolling one die, so, you know, you have one armor, so maybe you're taking a damage from crits once in a while. This just sort of lets you be like, I'm going to reduce it further because I'm a solo mage, so I
putting
need
out
that.
a bunch of attacks, so when it attacks and damages an enemy creature, you can charge a couple of them.
Yeah, right, absolutely. And there's no maximum amount of charge tokens you can have, so...
This makes me think Monk is going it, man, partially with this card.
He's totally going it, man. Oh, yeah, what a great quote.
Does this work with telekinetic burst?
What
I
do you
have
mean?
no idea. I had
mean?
no
No, like an AoE attack spell. Like you hit attack and damage all the creatures in the zone.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
It looks like it does.
If your mage
what I'm
takes damage...
How awesome is
Oh,
that?
no, an enemy creature has to attack you to do it, right?
No. When this mage attacks and damages an enemy
Yeah,
creature,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it works.
Yeah.
place a
So-
charge
Oh.
token.
Well,
You can do one
I
big
got-
telekinetic burst, and then you have a whole bunch
Yeah.
of little defenses like, oh hey, reduce that by 2, reduce that by
Yeah.
2, reduce that by 2.
yeah, absolutely, man. Solo mage.
All right, I might be interested in playing Academy here in the near future.
I mean, of course, this can be dispelled, so that is like probably a prime target because then you lose all of the charge tokens. But
It's true.
but let's just talk really quick about Arena. If it didn't have Monk only, would it be too strong?
We can abuse the crap out of an arena. So, without ruling, yes.
All right. Moving on.
It's kind of like the same thing Scott just said, but, you know, in
Bigger.
arena. So,
Yeah.
that seems like a much worse and or better thing to do. Especially with, I don't know, a druid maybe.
Yeah.
Arcane Webbing. I like this spell. So it's an arcane spell, so obviously in school for wizards. Diversion is a subject. That's cool. So, I mean, basically it makes creatures that are corporeal just roll less dice for a round.
Yeah, for a round it can screw up like a swarm attack. So it kind of goes along with the solo mage helping here.
Yeah, and I want to point out it kind of helps a solo wizard in Academy because he can add dissipate tokens onto it.
Good point.
I don't know if there's a way of doing that in Arena. I don't think there is.
No. It's not a mind spell.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't headdress or stasis it.
So,
And it's not a song.
Song.
so I mean, basically, it costs 2 mana. So basically, if you cast it and 2 creatures are affected, it's worth it. If it's more than 2, you benefit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you do. You cast it in the zone, and then you do a round of attacks. Like you'll do a sweeping attack with your monk, and then a melee attack spell,
Mm-hmm.
and then reveal this, and all of a sudden, anything that survives your attacks gets to not hit you very hard.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And if you have martial mastery on, or whatever it is, the martial chakra of protection, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. They roll less dice.
I might try this as a siren too.
I was about to bring up that too, man. So it works against just all non-spell attacks. You can combo with the combo we were talking about earlier with Aegis, this Shallow Sea, stuff like that. It's interesting.
Yep, it just reduces more dice.
This also would be a good thing to do in a incorporeal book. Like if you're going to run a bunch of gray wraiths or something like that as a necro, you might be able to keep them alive longer.
Would you run it as a wizard?
In Academy or Arena?
Maybe?
In Arena.
There's not a whole lot of incorporeal creatures that you have access to. I guess if I was running like a Whirling Spirit book.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe. But Whirling Spirits have 13 health already, so it's not like they need a lot of protection.
Yeah.
They're just so hard to kill anyway. But you might need a couple of cheap tricks rather than expensive ones if you're going to be paying upkeep for a bunch of Whirling Spirits.
Yeah, I could see one of the best ways of using this personally to put it in a zone that you want to destroy something in, like, I don't know, like a conjuration or something, and then go destroy it and then reveal it while all the other creatures try to swarm it. It's kind of like the teleportation one we just looked at, Sanctuary, just like in a different way. I don't know. Moving on?
Yeah.
All right. Crumble. I think we all know Crumble. We could probably skip past this. Distraction. So this is a cool card. It's level 2, but it's 6 mana. But you just remove all the guards in a zone. And that's friendly or enemy. So I think this allows you to do a lot of cool things. Like if you're having problems with Panzer Guards or Guardian Angels, with the intercept. Or in general, if something is guarding something you want to kill, like a conjuration or a creature, this just lets you sort of say no, and you take it out. I mean, it's not epic, so you can put it on a wand if you wanted to. I guess you could put it on a Thought Spore too, if you really wanted to.
I think the fact that it's level 2 and 6 mana is also hugely balancing. So it's a good card, but no one's going to spam them.
Yeah, I mean, as a Force Master player, like, you're not gonna use this very often. I don't think. Most of what you can, your Force Pull ability is gonna let you manipulate things the way you want to.
Yeah, but everybody else who has to deal with the interceptors or anything like that, this is good for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, there are other ways around that, but this is just a solid choice for
it.
It
is
sort of
4 spellbook points, though.
You're right. So that's why I was getting at. It's like you might have one. And you get to use it like the one time when his guards are surrounding him. Okay, fine. Well, screw all your guards. They're gone. Punch him in the face.
What I like about it is it works against Psychic Immunity. So, like, a lot of times Necromancers, they tend to, get all their stuff in one big zone and just sort of guard move. So if you really want to, do something specific, this sort of allows you to break all of that. And,
that's a good point.
They can lose a lot of actions.
By trying to walk an army up to you by guarding.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird card. I'm not sure if we're going to see too much of it, but, there it is.
I think it is a good card and will be used in ways that it sees play, but it won't overtake. Like, it won't be a card that everyone has to run, if that makes sense. It'll see play, and I think it'll do well when it does.
Yeah, it's definitely good for Academy, though.
Yeah, for a solo mage.
Speed Academy up a little bit.
Yeah. So meditation.
This is cool because you can use it in Arena.
Yeah, I love the art for this. I mean, basically, it's how you get key. It's a very baseline thing. I mean, obviously, it's mage only, so you can put it on a mage wand, just sit there and be like, I need key for a while.
Yeah, there's not a lot to this one.
That's it.
Yeah.
Anybody want to say anything?
I mean, it's cool.
I mean, it's a needed card, I think, for Academy and Arena to let you play this set and not just play Academy Monk only.
Yep.
And it's cool. You can't put on Thought Spore, just to point out. That's pretty much it.
You cannot.
You cannot, yes.
Yeah.
Let's get into the attack spells here, because I think this is like kind of, I think, where this set everyone will be like, yeah, I'll probably consider this for a specific thing that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Dragon Tail Sweep. Oh man. Okay, so let's just go into this really quick. So a lot of the attack spells in this set, I think maybe all of them actually, they're all melee attack spells, which is something we've never seen before. And it'll specify if you can use melee bonuses or not. But if you're allowed to, I think the value of these cards is like it gets to be insane levels, because a lot of times people run Bear Strength, and running a melee 2 onto an attack spell, like let's just take this one for instance, it's a 3 mana for a 3 die sweeping. Even if you just have a Bear Strength, 3 mana for a 5 die attack and then followed up with a 3 die attack is insanely good. So a lot of the cards you see here, just think about how a Bear Strength or a Bimshala would just sort of give you this crazy benefit. And in Academy, having Piercing 1 and Melee 1 also works really well.
Or a Desperate Focus, and
in general, anything. In general, things that give you Melee 1. Just think about the value when you compare it to like a Rock with a Hawkeye, like how much that changes this game in a lot of ways. So, talking
Rock with
about
Hawkeye is still 4 mana for 6 dice, which is good, and it's range 1, and it can hit the sky.
Oh yeah, and I'm not saying that Rock is bad now.
But it is a similar concept to this one, yeah.
A lot of people consider it one of the best attack spells just because it's so efficient, and this, I think, helps outclass that efficiency in a lot of ways for pure dice.
In certain circumstances.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Luminous Blast changed the game in a lot of ways, too.
Yeah, a little bit. It's also funny when you put this one on the Elemental Wand. Are you pointing at your foot?
I definitely get a Harry Potter. All right, today we're learning the martial sweep, the Dragon Tail Sweeping. Point your wand at your foot. Now let's go around. Oh my god. Anyway, I talked a lot. Do one of you guys want to talk about this card, because it's pretty awesome?
I think the important thing here is that for 2 key, you can actually get 2 more dice and not just 1 more die, because it says rolls an additional attack die, which includes both hits of the sweeping attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And if you combine this in Monk Academy with the Monk with Martial Mastery, where you get 1 additional die on all martial attacks.
Yep.
You get
a lot of
5 dice sweeping.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
For 2 key and 2 mana.
Oh yeah.
So one of the cool things is the fact that this whole set is based on combos off each other, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's combo-rific.
Yeah, I do like that.
If you can get the combos off, like, you get really strong stuff. And I think versing Monk and Academy is about saying, like, I don't want them to get these combos, so how can I play it so that they can't get it? Through weeks, through getting dispels or disperses, things like that, I think, is how you do it. And this is a full action, so of course it goes in place of your melee attack, but you get the melee plus bonuses with it.
Yeah, we'll come back to the full action thing later.
Yeah, so I mean, for Arena, would you take this in War Mages, non-War Mages? Like Warlocks, would you take it in Araxian?
I wouldn't take this one.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I honestly don't think so.
Yeah, I wouldn't take this one. I would take one of the later ones we're coming to, though.
Okay. I guess let's just move on.
That being said, that you can build around this. There are mages around it. I just don't have one right now.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that the 3 mana for 2 3-die attacks, and by the way, your piercing, if you have like piercing, it does combo with that as well. Like if you have critical strike, that's a really good way to deal with swarms in a lot of ways. Just because you're just piercing through them.
Noted in the chat here, Farkas is saying that you can get your Falcon Precision or your Mongoose Agility also on these.
Yep. Yes. And
so it's
those are all really cool combos.
I just don't have a book right now that could use it. I'm sure there was one that exists.
Oh yeah, I mean, Demonic Link I think is once per round, but you put on the mask as a warlock, suddenly you have piercing 1 to all these. Fun things like that are very useful.
Yep.
Fist of Iron.
Yep.
This is the only one, I believe, that does not allow you to gain your melee plus.
Yeah. So it's
Because
correct on that.
because you can already get critical damage with it.
Yep.
So it's an Earth school, and I want to point out the last one was War. This one's Earth. So it's 3 mana for a 4-die attack, which is pretty good.
Which is good on its own.
You know, it is range 0.
Yeah.
It is range 0/0.
I would run this potentially in Warlords just to do it.
Absolutely. And, you know, if you're struggling versus zombies, maybe consider going with the critical thing.
So here's the thing. If you had an Anvil Throne Warlord with dual wands, right?
Oh, yeah.
You could wand this on an elemental wand, and you could wand meditate.
Meditate on the
Right? So you can meditate and then critical damage something on the same turn. Meditate, critical damage, Renegade, critical damage, and if you have Kiro's Favor on, and you get the reroll.
Couple
of other pluses.
Absolutely.
I mean that can get dangerous really fast.
Yeah, you can beat some zombie down with that particular combo. If you really want to, also you can bring in a Boko, and make a Boko not get focused on because you have a dwarf or a orc up there casting Iron over and over again.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
The thing about that combo is that not only can you do that every turn, but you can do that every turn for 2 mana. 2 if you rune
2 if you put
wand.
the power,
Right. So
right.
So for 2 mana, you can hit for 4 critical dice every turn.
Yeah.
That gives you 7 mana to be pumping something out of
a barrack,
Battleforge, or a barrack.
or saving it for just a big, hey look, I just dropped an Earth Elemental, join me.
You know, like it's like, okay, I'm not going to meditate this turn, I'm going to cast something huge. No.
I do want to point out that even if you don't want to go with the key, this is a really nice melee attack that does combo with, like, you know, critical strike and stuff like that. You know, it's just even if it's just a 3
mana for a 4-die quick attack,
die
and you can do this in your quick cast phase.
Yeah,
is awesome.
it's really nice.
I think this is probably the card in the set that will see the most play.
I think so.
I think there's another card, but it's definitely for a specific thing.
It's up there. I don't.
It's definitely good.
It's one of the ones that's for the arena side of things will define this set.
So let's talk really quick about that. So I want to talk about Paladin with all of these cards here because this is crazy. You can actually use these with your challenge in the quick cast.
Yep.
So if you are like, I want to kill that thing, you can actually quick cast it and be like, okay, let's just try it out and see if it wins before they even get a chance to act.
Yeah, that's right. Because you know normally you would have to save your quick cast if you're against your challenge because the spell attack wasn't melee.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
The other important thing about Paladins and why I think Paladins are going to be extremely powerful after this set comes out is that you can now activate an aura and still get a melee attack off in your turn.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to talk
without having to do the guard trick.
Without having used the armor.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. Especially with the ring, you know, you can gain a ton of.
We did play test it a little bit. It is strong. I would agree. I don't know that I would consider it too far yet.
I mean,
we don't want to use panic.
Yeah,
but it was strong.
It lost some games. It won some games. So
yeah.
Anyway,
it was a strong combo and can be. I'm excited for the fact that this card can be used a lot in arena.
I think Warlords are going to be really good too.
Yeah, I agree.
I like it.
Really good.
And I really like how the wand trick you were saying just lets it benefit more. Anyway.
Well, I've been looking for the Anvil Thrones style for a while, right? I mean, there's a lot of different things you can try, and it's always tough because you want to get creatures out, but then you can't get equipment out, and you want to get equipment out, but then you can't get creatures out. And
yeah, this helps with that a lot.
This just helps so much because you can save mana for equipment, or you can save mana for creatures by getting your attacks out.
Yep.
With these abilities here.
Totally agree with you. So let's move on to Fist of Lightning.
Also
very
cool one.
Very similar art, but I really like this art a lot. So it's an air spell. So now we have a wizard that is trained in a melee attack spell. It's 2 mana, which is I think pretty awesome for a 3-die ethereal melee attack.
I love the effect.
So yeah, right. So basically, you pay key. And you just go, well, it's a non-mage creature, you're out. I mean,
better than
obviously,
stun.
you have to like get a bunch of ki to get some of those higher level dudes. But exactly, it's better than stun. It makes him inactive. You can use the assassin now.
Hooray, we can use the assassin. Touche.
Or you can use Blightheart.
Yeah,
there
right.
you go.
Blightheart assassin combo, man. That's where we're at.
Yeah, right.
So my favorite part about this spell is that we've never been able to do it without promo cards. Use the Lightning Ring melee bonus side. And I really like that because you can suddenly say, like, I'm going to have, like, a Bear Strength Lightning Ring Wizard that's going to, hit you with this.
Punch you with a lightning fist.
And then going to hit you with another lightning attack to follow it up. And I'm going to start, stun locking stuff all over the place.
Yeah, you could actually get a solo wizard that can keep both a non-mage and a mage out of the fight.
Because you can elemental on this.
Well, yeah, it'd be really hard to get the key to do that every turn, but you could have a couple of rounds there where you just like.
That or you just get a Boko. I mean, that's
right.
for everything, right?
That's true. A Boko only gives you 2 key, though.
You just save up, I think.
Oh, I know.
Like, honestly,
just have them sit back there and save it up. I guess is where I was going with that.
Yeah.
It's. I'm not saying it's like optimal or anything, but I think it's a really cool thing. And talking about Academy, I think it's really useful for the Academy Wizard. I think it's really useful for the Academy Monk. Especially against solo
options. The attack spells in this one just generally open up options. Again,
like
I like that.
If someone's doing a buddy build, like a Torgo or what's his name, the big the chain demon, I forget his name right now. Mageddon.
Oh, yeah.
This suddenly lets you be like, oh, I'm gonna make sure to save up in the first 2 rounds just to deal with that.
Yeah, now you still have to respect guards. So if he's guarding Mageddon or guarding Aaron, then
absolutely
you're either going to have to use distraction or make yourself elusive with the hammer jammers. Yeah. And it takes your full action. This is really important. It takes your full action to do the inactive thing.
Would you... Hey, you know what? I'm going to talk about that later. Let's move on.
All right, moving on. This is the one that I think is going to be used more often than not.
Yeah, this is the one I
agree.
The other one that goes with the Iron Fist.
This is probably the rock card of these melee attack spells.
Yeah. Because this one you benefit from your melee plus. It's a quick attack.
Yeah.
It's got reach, so you can hit anything in your zone.
Yeah, and this is the one that
I have the key. You can add 2 more dice to that.
I think this inspires a lot of players to want to take the monk now, because a bunch of the other ones have been good, but this is the one that's like, oh, this is how I finish games. You know what I mean?
This one goes in a lot of different places.
So just to point out, it's 2 additional dice. So the 2 key is basically 1 for 1. So if you have something that allows you to, I don't know, add sweeping to this or something like that, it's nice.
Cast Battle Fury on yourself and then
yeah, right. I don't know if you can Battle Fury this.
You can't Battle Fury. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the tricky thing with Battle Fury, right? Okay, watch this. Watch this. So you have something else cast Battle Fury on you, right?
Oh, like a Feldspore.
Are you doing the sweeping Battle Fury thing? Yeah.
Right. No. You can. So what you can do is you can do anything you want with your main action, and then let's say you're dazed or stunned or something. You can either cast a Battle Fury yourself or you can have something else casted on you. And your action is spent. You still use your quick cast to make a melee attack, and that is the next melee attack that you make.
So you make
that allows you to get a second melee attack off with your quick cast marker.
Right. So yeah, imagine
that's so awesome.
If you got stunned, you would then prepare the Battle Fury and this melee attack spell, or one of the melee attack spells. I guess the quick ones.
Oh yeah.
Right. But the thing is, it can't be another flying sidekick. So it can be your main weapon,
right? That
you take another hit with.
So for pals who like to run the lightsaber, you just do that with the lightsaber.
Yep, because you can't get your ring benefit from that, but you might as well get the ring benefit with your sword.
Yeah, or warlocks who get surging wave. Oh no, then you use your action to cast Battle Fury on yourself. Your flying sidekick followed by a whip with the lash or something.
God,
there's all kinds of interesting ways to play around.
So I think we're going to see Battle Fury more often than we do.
Let's talk about a fun combo, right? Let's talk about the flying sidekick for Thought Spore. and how fun that idea is. You put a bear strength on your thought spore. You know, you put a flying sidekick on your thought spore. You put a mind's eye out there. Suddenly you're flying through a mine, just punching them or kicking them in the face. They're like, "What hit me?" You know.
You know what's even better though, is getting that stuff and Alliance Savagery on there and moving your thought spore every turn.
Just back and forth. Yes,
thought
absolutely.
Spore moves back and forth.
You
in the back
corner. You get a piercing foot. the visual
abilities there, yeah.
And you got a Boku channeling Ki into the thought spore.
Yep. It's like
while your Force Master runs interference.
This is a really weird thing, guys.
Yeah, your Force Master can run interference with Force Hold and Tanglevine and
Force Pull, even.
Feeble.
Just pull them off away.
Yeah, and I mean it only costs 3 mana, so. I mean, the ability for Mind's Eye to be able to use these is, like, insane to me.
Yeah, this is totally going in the Pressure Master.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. It also lets you sort of, like, get some distance if you want to try to, like, hit somebody from afar in general with the Force Master Mind's Eye. But, I mean, it's War 1. I mean, Paladin loves it. Warlord loves it. Who doesn't love this?
Yeah, it's going to be good. Yeah, it's going to be good.
The fact that it has reach, too, I think is really strong.
There's a lot of interesting things with this card. So,
I mean, do you guys want to talk about, like, the Sacrificial Altar with this? Because I think it's pretty cool.
Melee and piercing.
Yeah, so, like, there's totally, I think, ways to, like, you know, get 12, 15 dice with this card if you prep it in a crazy way.
Yeah, you totally catch that. We have a use for Sardonyx now.
Yeah, right? Like, you so you, like, Sardonyx, Sacrificial Altar, then, you know, you walk up, flying sidekick them, and then you also melee them. And you get the melee bonus and piercing bonus twice.
You do all the other stuff first, and then when you're about to hit them with flying sidekick, you cast Sardonyx and sacrifice him, and then you punch them for life.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you can get the melee bonus twice now, which before you haven't been able to do that.
What, 24 mana to get melee plus 8 and piercing plus 8?
Yeah, so I mean,
it could be awesome, right?
I mean, if they're at like 10 life or 10 damage, like you could feasibly get this plus 3, and then get your melee attack. Plus 8. Then your melee attack, which is 3 plus 8, piercing 8. Like, it's pretty good, you know.
I suppose it works for the whole round, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, having him cast earlier would be better.
You just cast him the turn before, then the next turn you go in, you sacrifice him, you punch him, and then you kick him.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Sacrificial Altar, I think it has some cool combos with this, too, if you're a Dark Mage. And are like, how am I going to use this? The Monk Mage, Dark Mage.
The Dark Monk Mage.
Aboku hates him. Are we going to move on, or do you guys want to keep talking about combos here?
That was good.
I'm sure there's tons out there that we haven't talked about, but, you know, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, feel free to just post some stuff. And
come up with some fun combos and let us know what you think.
Moving on, though. Projected Leg Sweep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, also good.
Yeah, I mean, so it's another quick cast. Mind School this time. 3 die... 3 mana cost melee attack.
Yeah, it's just solid. Plus the staggers. I think staggers underrated because those 2 dice missing and or turning off a minor creature is really good.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's a force spell, which means you could pay 2 mana for it as a Force Master.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's really cool, actually.
And you could get the automatic stagger if you're packing some Ki.
I mean, it's also good if you're a solo mage and you're like, I don't want to take an ethereal weapon mage staff. Maybe I'll take one of these projected leg sweeps because I'm already buffing myself melee-wise. I might as well give myself something to buff an ethereal attack with. You know, just gives you some options there. Anybody else want to say anything? Moving on?
Nope. We've covered a large amount of it.
Projected Palm.
It's important to say that it can't hit a flying creature, though.
Yeah. But Projected Palm can, which is an extra mana to do that. Actually,
that's true. Yeah.
No, it can't, can it? No, it can't.
Yeah, it can.
Can it? That's range 0.
Yeah, the only difference between this and the other one is that it can hit flying creatures.
I guess you're right, because
and it costs 1 more mana.
I don't know if
the effect is a keeping.
Yeah, the previous one's target specifically said non-flying. That's the only reason it can't.
I don't know if it. What?
This one can.
I don't understand. So hang on a second, guys. We're going back. We're going back to flying sidekick. Why does it have reach?
What?
Because you're flying.
Oh. So you can already reach with all the other spells, but like this one just is like it has reach, right? Is that what we're doing?
What are you talking about?
I see where he's coming from. Melee, I don't know, melee attack. This one, the projected pump may not be able to hit flying either.
But why does it say non-flying in projected leg sweep? I don't know. This is weird.
Yeah, it's a bit on the weird side because
I think we need to do some targeting research to see exactly what's going on here.
Does inherently being melee mean you have the ability to reach flying without reach?
Yeah, I mean, so technically...
None of these can hit flying, so the targeting is a little weird.
So technically, range 0/0 lets you hit flying creatures because range 0 is flying. You can still do that. But it's a melee attack, so can you actually do that? I don't know.
Look it up. I don't actually know.
Yes, I don't know either.
It's a melee attack. You cannot hit flying creatures.
Right, so I think at least one of them, which is the one that says non-flying, I think that's redundant.
It's just a redundant thing. I think that's how it is too. We're going to go with that. So this can't hit flying, which is totally fine. But it gives you an unavoidable option for 2 key with the stagger and stuff like that, and ethereal options.
There's basically no reason for it to cost 4 then.
Right? Well, it gives you unavoidable. I mean, that's...
No, that's the key, getting you unavoidable.
I mean,
just like the key is getting you the plus stagger chance.
So basically, it's costing 4, I think, to give you the option to get unavoidable. Is what it's doing. You know what I mean?
I'm going to stick with that one because it justifies it in my head and I don't have to question it anymore.
I mean, that's the best reason I have. Because they're both 7-up, right? Yep.
Yeah.
I think that in playtesting, this card actually had a 0-1 reach on it. Range on it.
It did, actually, yeah.
And they may have taken that out and forgot
targeting stuff. Anyway, does anybody want to comment on this card because it's very similar to the last one?
Yeah, it's the same card as last card, almost.
Alright, I mean, the unavoidable is nice.
Yeah, we added a lot on the other attack spells, so...
Yeah.
Is that it? Oh, that's it.
And there's a disperse in here.
Disperse.
Yes.
That's it.
It's monk. So, yeah. So that's pretty much the monk. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to say about that, but
no, I think we covered a lot of it. The combos inside the deck itself with other monk things make it cool, and there are some cards that we'll see some that I think are pretty cool.
Yeah. So I just want to say that I think the monk lets you have a subtype class basically of like monk stuff. And I think that's kind of the reason if you want to buy it. If you're into, like if you want to like splice your arena mages or even your academy mages, this is a cool set for that.
Yeah.
It adds another layer of resource management in order to get the most out of a solo mage, and I think it's probably fine.
Yeah, I didn't see any evidence of it being, but it was definitely an interesting, different way of doing things.
The melee attack spells are going to be something to watch, though. I mean, because you can get so much extra power out of them.
Yeah, but there's enough ways to play around them too. I think that while strong, they have counters.
Yeah, I mean,
I just want to say you watch them.
I mean, yeah, I think people are gonna have to adjust. Some people are gonna have to adjust their books to like be aware of those sort of like spiky melee damage. Suddenly something is hitting you for double the melee bonuses out of bear strength, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, Alter Inferni I think might be a card we see more just because it gets rid of your melee bonuses, and if someone's only melee focused as their mage, it could really screw them up.
Yep.
Yeah, it could. I mean, Purge Magic will get rid of a lot of those buffs too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Weeks, Agony.
All right.
Even just Enfeeble and Tanglevine and stuff can really mess with them, right? Sure, they can get
Yeah,
out of
oh,
the
yeah.
Vine with one hit, but now what, right?
That's a good point too.
Yep, I agree. I think all of those are good counters, but that doesn't necessarily make them useless either. So it's a good set. It's a better set than we've seen for a while. I wasn't a huge proponent of how Druid and Elementalist did, but this one's a better version.
I like this set in general. You know,
Yeah.
Especially what it does to Arena.
Yep, I agree.
So any final thoughts on this before we close the stream?
I just want to say that it was fun to do this. Thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate all of you coming out to vote, like, and comment on all the stuff that we do, and it's really fun to hear when something that we've done is good for you, like that helps you enjoy the game more or have a good time. So
absolutely. I just want to say that if you guys don't know, we have an Arcane Wonders forum that has it's Mage Wars forum. If you just like Arcane Wonders Mage Wars forum in Google, you can find it. We also have a Discord that you can find on the forum site. It's an open Discord. Tons of people are in it. It's if you haven't played online in Octagon, it's a very fun system where you know, if you're free in the middle of the night and want to play somebody across the world, someone's usually available to do that. And it's just a good place to talk about strategy, upcoming tournaments online, things like that. So if you guys are into Mage Wars, please check us out. Otherwise, yeah, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
And in case anybody's wondering, we are planning to do a Necromancer review, and we're going to do that before the set is released, and that's going to be in just a little less than 3 weeks.
Doing all the cards. I'm actually really excited for that set. I think there's a lot of cool cards that are going to see a lot of use.
Yeah, that one I actually think is fun too. So.
Yeah, says the Dark Mage.
I know, right? I contend that I'm a fire mage who happens to also be linked with dark.
Fair enough.
There are some really cool ways to use some of those cards that I'm excited to talk to everybody about. So
yeah.
All right.
In the meantime, we're gonna get Monk out on Octagon as soon as we can. I believe it's released at this point, isn't it?
We need confirmation on it. I don't know.
It's releasing either soon or it's out. I'm pretty sure it is out though.
I thought it was going to be out like a week ago, but
if you're watching this on YouTube, it's probably out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
So, see you later.
Bye.